that I spy my little eye. Andor, Cassian Andor, talk about Andor, Cassian Andor. He's a rebel spy, super bad friend. Give you a hug at the very end. Make that man feel like 100. He's the rogue one for me. Keep you ass up. He's not in the show. Is he a fish or a thief? He's Cassian Andor. Cassian Andor. Cassian Andor.
Right, tell. That's how you do a theme song. All right. My name is Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net. That's the guy who did the Andor music. He's great. I actually really want that new song.
No offense. You should have been yelling that out during Kenobi. Just saying.
I didn't
Johnny,
make I
Johnny made the weakest theme of his career on that one.
I didn't make a fucking Andor. I mean a Kenobi song that good though. That's the difference. I mean, not that good. You know what I mean?
Maybe you were inspired.
I didn't really. I mean, you know.
Little shade.
Oh shit.
Little shade.
Yeah. So today we're getting to the news of yesterday, really, when you get down to it. But I don't think it really expired, this one. And that's that the Rejuwon has stepped down as the VP of live action Star Wars content jazz. And right now, go over to my friend's website, bestmanbulletin.com. There's a Ko-fi page, and you can become a subscriber to it now. So you could give him you can just have him set where it's like he gets like $1 a month. You can do that for him now if you want to, or you could be a fucking asshole and not. But also, don't give him money before you give me money. Give me money first, because I gotta eat too. Look at me. I ain't gonna get any fatter if I don't eat.
I still haven't got one free pizza on this show. You know what I mean? In a year. So you folks need to be.
So if anybody has a Pizza Hut gift card, DM the code to the Papa. Don't you have to cook Papa Murphy's on your own?
I cook it perfectly.
Yeah, that's bullshit, man.
I got the skills, son.
That's bullshit, though.
You haven't had it till I fucking made that shit, dog.
Do they deliver your uncooked pizza to you?
And the fucking whole house smells like pizza. It's the best. It's like getting pizza fucking potpourri with your fucking order. It's
pizza
brilliant.
Potpourri. You're and
you
say you have never smoked marijuana in your life. You've never
dabbled. I haven't.
See,
look, do I look like a man who could control that kind of habit? Like, do I look like that?
Yeah, I think you would turn into the dude in 10 seconds. So right here, I can't lie. Michelle's looking a little
fantastic graphic, by the way.
Looking a little like a slow adult. Star Wars, a little bit. Who wants to play live action Star Wars? I'm the president, right, Kathy? Oh, you're the VP, Michelle. I'm the VP of live action.
Oh,
no, sorry. It does kind of have that vibe going, though. A little bit. I mean, a little bit. You know what I mean? Why does my X-Wing have the poopies on it?
I did not like the battle damage stickers, by the way.
I had to make the choice with mine. It came with both. It came with the battle damage or clean. I had both sets of decals. I chose battle damage, and then my mom threw the box away, and I was convinced that she had the stickers somewhere, you know? So for like a year, it felt like years. It might have been days, but if my kid brain felt like years, I was like, Mom, you think you know where those stickers are? Probably. I mean, I did play with this thing, though, from when I was, not my wiener, the X-Wing, from when I was like, I don't know, turning 4, my 4th birthday, until I was about 12, I was fucking flying around like a slow. I was really tall at 12, so I probably looked like a slow adult running around with that X-Wing going.
You look like this. This is exactly what you look. See, Jason, you just see yourself. You're looking.
But I had blonde fucking little blonde fro going. And I was like, ah! I was like Kenny Powers, like Kenny Powers' nephew. Yeah,
a bleach Bob Ross.
Blonde Ambition tour. All right. So anyways, you could super chat us. You could like the video. You can also subscribe to Bestman Bulletins thing.
We got to get the subs up to
We do gotta get the subs
8,000.
up.
This is ridiculous. This is they keep going down 3. I don't help. I know this. I'm sorry. Nothing I can do.
Yeah,
Stuck with
yeah. I think we keep treading water kind of because of the bots.
I have
we
too
finally
much dirt
got
on
the bots.
Jason, and he can't let me off the show, or I'll just release it. You know,
This is true. This is true.
yeah, it's true.
Um,
Yeah. Oh, the pics. Ooh.
God, people make up rumors about stuff like that all the time about people. Oh, he has the dirt on Jason. I'm like, what's the fucking dirt on me? I have you heard this mouth? You think I can not say what's on my mind?
I got
Everybody
it
knows
locked
the
in a
dirt.
Dr. Pepper fridge. I got for free off a survey that cost me $30, but it was free. The shipping was $30. But that's it. It's locked in the Dr. Pepper fridge. The dirt on Jason.
Yeah, but Bestman says, "Give me and Jason $1, please, so we can put money towards being chubby boys." Yeah, we need our we need our ash. We need our ash skins in Fortnite. If we don't get them, we won't play. We might go outside and lose weight. Anyways, back in 2019, Michelle Rejuwon was promoted to the role of Senior Vice President of Live Action Development and Production at Lucasfilm after acting as producer on both Star Wars The Force Awakens, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, and was a member of the Lucasfilm Brain Trust dating back to 2015. Just 3 years following the announcement, Deadline was reporting that, hey, where's the hot link, Bespin? I don't know. Maybe don't give this guy $1. You know, the trade's got to eat too. I'm kidding. Are reporting that Rejuwon was chosen to step down from the role. During her tenure, Rejuwon executive produced the hit Disney Plus series Obi-Wan Kenobi, along with Andor, that's currently airing, and the upcoming Willow series. Willow of Good. Yeah, it's not bad. It's of good. Rejuwon is also still listed as a producer on the upcoming untitled Star Wars film from Taika Waititi.
Sure she is.
No, she because of even though she doesn't do a thing on it, she'll still be credited, I bet you, from its inception. Rejuwon's role saw her oversee all theatrical and direct-to-consumer live-action content and was responsible for identifying and delivering future products for Lucasfilm. Despite Rejuwon stepping down from the SVP of live-action development and production at Lucasfilm, she has struck a new deal with Disney and Lucasfilm. This is the important part right here that I think grifters will eventually leave off. Michelle Rejuwon has now signed an overall deal with Lucasfilm and Walt Disney Studios as a full-time producer. So expect to see Rejuwon's name attached to many more projects in a galaxy far, far away. And then you could listen to...
Except here's the asterisk I want to put on that one. I want to give you guys a little info. What how this works in Hollywood. I know a guy or two in Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
Made movies, right? Written screenplays, produced films. And what happens is generally when you have someone on the upper up leave a studio, they usually get a production deal, no matter how bad it is. Which was no matter how tenuous, whatever. If their relationship internally was strained, I'm not talking about the fans. Like they'll get any kind of production deal out of it, and so. You can see this at Warner Brothers, which is why it was actually a bit of a shock when Walter Hamada left Warner Brothers this week officially and turned down a production deal.
Yeah,
you know, that's generally kind of how like they buy you out. That's kind of like their like little like golden parachute, you know, like oh you'll still be producing things and blah 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 blah. So, I suspect, right, that. I suspect that whoever, one of two things, she was expecting to take over Lucasfilm now or sooner than later, and it's either going to be it turned into later than sooner, or there's some conflict over which should be the priority TV or film, you know. Like that's kind of like a thing.
So I hit up a couple of people to ask if they knew anything or what it was. And for the record, compared to most, she's been a bit like controversial in terms of people that I know at Lucasfilm. People really do love her, and some people really don't like her. And some people said that she's like ambitious to a fault. something that they would also say. And if that is true, she may have found herself in a position where you have like Favreau and Filoni doing all of the LA productions. They don't really need her. She's not really like essential. You don't really need another producer on that stuff. And with everything that's like slowed down, this might not be the right position for her to go and actually, because like as a producer and as somebody who wants to be clearly very powerful in Hollywood and creating content, you want that dollar figure churning constantly. And the Star Wars TV shows, that ain't going to do it for you. They're not, those don't really count. Those don't get you box office numbers. Those don't get you put on to huge movies in Hollywood. And I don't know what her deal is with Star Wars. Some people, Star Wars is a lifelong ambition. It's all that they ever wanted to do. Kathleen Kennedy is somebody who I am surprised is still there. Because I mean, while I know that she does love it, she does George and Steven, I would also thought at some point she was going to want to go and make movies about Brad Pitt aging in reverse again or something. You know what I mean? Like
I take it as a vote of no confidence on some. No, I'm not saying that Lucas. It could be that because we know when Paycheck took over Disney, like he restructured his little fucking power group, right? So that there's one guy greenlighting fucking movies and shit like that. And so like there's a whole fucking different way things are done over there on the Disney side. So it could just be like if Lucasfilm, Kathy and them were like, hey, this is who we think is taking over. And then it's like, yeah, I don't, and the other people are like, nah, we're thinking about doing something different. And then it's, well, then what am I here for if I'm not really producing movies and I'm not really looking at a future job running this place? You know what I mean? Like story of what? I don't know. Like it's like this is it's kind of a town that you're only as big as your last gig, and the last film that she produced was Rise of Skywalker, and we all know how that got made. So like,
she was. I heard that she was the one who brought JJ back when they had Ryan.
Yeah, that's the only movie she ever made that I can go, I'm not a fan of that one. That was not a good movie.
And she comes out of and by all accounts comes out of Bad Robot. Her career in certain ways mirrors that of Kathleen Kennedy and Steven Spielberg, how they kind of go. And but if we take, this isn't fair, but if we take the math of what JJ is to Spielberg and make her Kennedy, it's kind of probably sort of true too, but she hasn't had all of that time.
The Andor thing is different though, because like we know Andor was initially being developed in a different direction, and Gilroy made a letter who was like, we should go this other direction. It's not like she was shepherding a project and she had a vision and she brought in the people to fulfill it in the way that an 80s style producer would, like John Peters or even was that Michael Uslan or those kind of cats where you already know what you want to make, you're just trying to find the Tim Burton to see through that thing, or you're trying to find the who's the cat that fucking directed Die Hard and shit like that, like this is a bit different. Like Andor wasn't like her vision, it was a project that was getting made, and that's your gig to kind of make sure it's getting kind of put together. And I don't know, man, like I've listened to interviews with Gilroy. He's never brought her name up once. I imagine if she had a big involvement on that show, he would have dropped the name, because he's dropped some names. So I just haven't heard that name dropped on his end one time. So I don't know. The big thing.
Wait, you haven't heard her name?
From Gilroy. Yeah, I haven't heard him dropping her
name
in interviews. So.
Yeah, she's like, I think she's counted as a producer on it. But I don't know if she was like a day-to-day producer, or if it was like
what I was trying to say, Jason, was it was
accounting.
It was being made before as that Sundance and Kid Butch Cassidy fucking thing. I think that's that seemed to me like when Gilroy wrote his fucking Katzenberg style letter, where it was like, that ain't what you do. You do this other thing. And then it goes through the fucking cycle and gets spit back out. They go back to him. She's still attached to it, but I don't see Andor. She was like, it needs to be like a guy that gets, at the end, he's in an office that goes on for years. And, I don't see that come. That's not a vision that's coming from the producer down through that's the creatives filtering back up to the studio. So
yeah,
when
it comes to these movies, these things that have like fucking sometimes a few producers actually like on them in actuality, it's hard to attribute anything without them telling us, and they don't really tell us anything about
like
them. I don't
like
think
how
that
it
they
worked at
necessarily
Marvel.
want spotlight.
Like how it works at Marvel is you have sort of like a triumvirate between Feige and the other two. There's a three, and then each project has its own producer. That producer doesn't produce multiple movies. That producer stays with that one project from conception through to the end. And they're the one on set every day. They're actually on set with the director every day.
Yeah.
So like the producer on the Marvel films are heavily involved. I don't see that. Lucasfilm just to me seems to be running almost in a way that Lucas would have done it back in the day. Like actually at post Revenge of the Sith, where it's, they got projects, and then we gotta see if the budget fits right, and like is this what we got? Is it looking good? Do we want to do it, or we're gonna do it? Okay, then give it to the usual crew or to this cat. I don't know. I just don't see. I would have thought by now if she was making a giant impact, Kathy Kennedy would have brought her up more. That's the thing that's weird to me. Like for all the years that we heard that Rejuwon was in place to take over, you don't hear Kathy like bring that up, right? Like isn't that weird?
No, they're really, really cognizant of the fact that these people who have shows like us puts targets on their backs, and
targets, all right.
it does. And you have so many maniacs, and they're like they're women, so the maniacs are even more likely to go after them in weird ways.
Well, you would have
and
thought
stuff.
though,
and
Kenobi,
but she was the VP though.
Right, but with Kenobi, with Deborah Chow being in front, and with the actress who plays Reba, Moses Ingram, being at the forefront of that, you would have thought that would have been the place for her to step more into the limelight, right? Because then it's not one. It's like, hey, there's fucking women working here, fuckface. Like, like deal with it. Like get the fuck over your shit. Like for real.
I think that there's like to an extent they don't want their talent harassed, and having to worry about that shit on top of everything when they're behind the scenes people. They're not supposed to be in the front. And but I don't know. I mean, she's not, she's like the VP. She's not like, I was teaching writing at some posh college, and now I'm on the Lucasfilm story group secretly, and now I'm outed, But that's one of the things I've always laughed at, is that people would make up lies about the story group and stories about it, but they don't know who's actually on it. And it's like you just like name like the two people you saw on the website or something, Sucked. Actually, The Last Jedi wasn't received too well at the time if you were on YouTube. The money though was fine. Like the actual test numbers, all that kind of, not test numbers, but the actual like exit polls and stuff like that shit was all good. Well, it's not called exit polls. I've been watching too much politics, but all of that stuff was fine. There was but I also remember like that was at the height of Trump, when that really got rolling too, and so they weren't. So here's what I to
this motherfucker
Dark Rob eyeliner found. Yeah,
this shit.
You need to do it. Thanks, man.
Dude. Well, we all can't wear Dracula glasses like Johnny. So
thank you for supporting the show, Johnny.
I appreciate it. The show, Dracula.
Dracula. Star Wars Meg says, so she did Rise of Skywalker. Oh wait, there was a Meg one. Meg said, so we almost got a sequel to The Last Jedi, and they said no. Yeah. So what my people were telling me at the time was, and the stuff ended up. These same people, by the way, told me stuff that was literally later on about Kenobi that ended up being true as well, for the record. So from the Pinewood side, and at Pinewood, they were told Rian Johnson was coming. He was going to fly out within a couple of days because Colin was let go, and he was going to show up and tell them what sets, things to keep, what things to get rid of. And they were going to postpone production, but some things you could keep, some things you couldn't. And so it was like a big stop, and that Ryan was going to come. Well, then some people at Lucasfilm told me that it sort of like, they probably made it a little bit more dramatic. I have to sneeze. Excuse me. And like at the very last minute, Rejuwon went and called up J.J. Abrams, told him the situation, and said, you can do it if you don't delay the film. If the film still comes out by December 2019, it's yours. And that was the only stipulation. And so he got to come in, he got to start it all the way over. And that's how we got that episode 9. That's what I had heard. And I believe that story to be accurate. Yeah. So of just considering all of the pieces together, how everything went. I've always wanted to ask Ryan about it. I don't know if he would truly answer it, or even like off the record, just so I know the story is somewhat true, or if Ryan was the intention, or was that an assumption by the people at Pinewood? There's all kinds of factors that could make some of the story less accurate. What I just told, less accurate than not, but I do think that is the accurate story. So yeah, I mean, you could decide whether, if you hated The Last Jedi, she's a hero. If you like The Last Jedi, that's obvious. So anyways,
I think it's irrelevant if you like The Last Jedi or not. I think the real question is, did you want a resolution to the story? Because episode 9 didn't resolve jack shit. Like, it really didn't, like everything that was sort of up in the air, still up in the air. Like it's still up. No decisions were made. And I get back. The title of the fucking movie is a marketing department's wet dream. It literally is, let's take the fucking thing that we as a marketing department we like Rise of. We're going to put it in every fucking movie we can get it. We're going to get Dark Knight Rises. We're going to get Rise of the Apes. We're going to get Rise of the Beast coming to you next summer. It's just always rise. They fucking love the Rise of the fucking Terminators. Rise of the fucking Smurfs Rising. And then let's throw in Skywalker. That'll get them, so they know.
I blame all of them for that too, because it wasn't like you got
it's all a bad idea.
Yeah, it was that was they allowed that to be the title because they thought it was a good idea. So anyways, Eric Denton says, where do I apply for her job? Is it on Indeed? It's on monster.com actually right now. You go apply on Monster. What I was going to say about that though was Eric brings up something interesting though, and something that I think will I don't know if this will end up in the grifty space or not. It might not, but they didn't announce a successor. They didn't say who's going to take the position, and I kind of wonder if it could be someone like Favreau or Filoni, but probably if I had to bet, I would say it would be Jon Favreau. Before, somebody could correct me if I'm wrong. I think before her it was Kiri Hart was in the position. I could be wrong about that though. So it's been a woman in the position this whole time, and so it almost stands to reason that it would be again, but at the same time, with the amount of work that Favreau and Filoni are doing and the amount of productions that they are involved in, it does sort of seem like it would make sense for somebody like Jon Favreau to take that position and sort of be the number 2 in live action to Kathleen Kennedy. But the other thing is that these are like real producing jobs is the other thing about that. And you need a producer who understands and facilitates the creatives, right? You don't necessarily need it. What's that?
Favreau's not a producer though.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly where I'm taking it. Yeah. That's where I'm like, I don't. That's why I think those two names are going to be floated, and I don't think that they necessarily would apply. But if I was told back in the day, that it was like succession, you know, like basically if Kathleen Kennedy, you know, died tonight, that Rejuwon would be the one to, at least in the interim, take over and run Lucasfilm and keep the all four wheels on the car. And
Look,
with
for all
that,
we know, man, it really came down to this. JJ got a sweet deal at Apple or Netflix or some shit now that he's out at fucking HBO, and then he pitched her a fucking job over there, you know what I mean? And where she got more fucking money, more creative.
well, she made it. She signed
that way.
She signed a new deal with Disney, and that's the other thing.
You always get it. What I'm trying to tell you though is, anytime an executive leaves, they always sign a production deal with them anyway. Like that's generally what happens in Hollywood. It's not indicative of she left that to go actually get a movie made. I don't think that's what that means.
Well, it's they're selling that idea. At least Deadline is. Deadline believes that idea, but the truth will be when we do we see her name popping up in other things. Do we see her fucking producing the fucking Jungle Book 3, fucking The Bears Talk again?
Toby Emmerich stepped down from Warner Bros. And he got a production deal when he leaves, because this is what they do. They give you a production deal when you leave. It's why it was a big deal when Walter Hamada last week, again, when he leaves Warner Bros., turned down the production deal. It's like
hey, Walter Hamada, what do you say?
Yeah, kind of keeps you from maybe going directly to your competition, blah, 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 blah. So,
yeah. Yeah, but like I said, if we see her producing a bunch of shit for Disney, then we know that it was just that.
Hey man, all of them Pinocchio sequels ain't gonna produce themselves. Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, it's gonna get dark when fucking Geppetto realizes what that nose can do. James says, "Who could have taken over after KKA? Brian Grazer?" Yeah, I have no idea who they would, you know, have do something like that, because it's such a weird position, because like in this sense, like Kathleen Kennedy's style is get the creative to bring the creative idea and then facilitate the creative making the idea. Whereas like Marvel has
70s and 80s, yeah.
Well, and then Marvel though has a homeboy who's like, here's my idea. I'm not going to do it. You do it and you make it good. and that idea works really well for the Marvel formula or the format or whatever, at least, but it does seem like maybe that's kind of coming a little bit too.
No, it's not. I've been hearing about this look, all they've done is diversify their portfolio, and then people go, I don't like this. You're not supposed to like it. Like, that's different.
Yeah.
So
well, I'll tell you this.
I told you the way those projects get done, the highest fucking opening weekend this year was Doctor Strange too. Like, the highest opening weekend last year was Spider-Man. I'm just letting you know it's not failing. Like what people, it's just they can't use the word comic book fatigue anymore because that doesn't trend. No. So this is the other.
Like, I'm just Jason Ward. I don't give a fuck about any of their industry, how their movies do, what they do, who likes what. I couldn't give two shits. What I'm telling you though is I go to D23 every couple of years. I sit down. I fucking watch a bunch of shit I don't want to see as I wait for the Star Wars thing, or I want to go because the Star Wars thing already happened, but my friends want to stay and watch the thing, so I'm stuck there. And usually I'm like, boring. I'm like, I kind of want to see that. I want to see. Oh yeah, I really want to see that. I really want. And this last D23, I don't want to see basically any of it. It all looked fucking.
I don't. Yeah, but you're a 40 fucking year old dude who wants just what he wants, and then I don't know if I
just told you though.
If someone tells me. Yeah,
it's not. I didn't get more uptight. No, I don't want to
wheeled out every X-Man out there, and you would have been like, eh. So that doesn't matter,
right? Native Americans, fucking sign languaging superheroes is what we've all been waiting for our whole lives. Like,
I have some friends who have been waiting for that. Jason.
You probably
They're
do.
In the minority, you know.
Yeah, I'm talking about. I don't give a shit. I just don't care. None of it looked really very, very fascinating to me. And what I'm saying is that I didn't see a lot that it seemed to be. I understand that you always want to be growing your brand. You always want to be doing something in Star Wars that they haven't done before that brings in people that aren't usually serviced. I understand that part, but you do have to actually like service the core at the same time. And
yeah,
what I saw
servicing the core. They gave him a Spider-Man movie with every
Daredevil
Spider-Man in it.
Daredevil was the highlight of it, and I'm like, oh, fucking Daredevil. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know if most people like it wasn't like a theater thing, to be fair. But most
right.
of your what do you think most like fucking average fucking people even know who Daredevil is? I don't think so.
No, Jason, they don't. What I'm trying to tell you is they've diversified their fucking audience in a way that Star Wars tried and failed. I mean, they have a Shang-Chi movie that character did great. The movie is brilliant. Like, they have a Ms. Marvel series that my friends goes, no, for me. It's not for you, but there's a whole nother audience. So those people will then grow. It's literally what Lucas was trying to do with Clone Wars. We're growing a different audience. They grow different audiences. And then you got fucking Avengers movie coming out 4 years from now. We don't have a Star Wars movie coming out, far as I'm concerned, till at the minimum 2025, probably 2027.
No, like, it's 2025.
This is a real problem. This is a real problem. Marvel doesn't have a production problem or an interest problem. You know?
No, yeah. When I was asking about this morning,
and
listen, this is big. This is bigger. There will be a movie in 2025 for sure. They have to deliver one. That was what my person said. We have to deliver one in 2025. So whether it's good or not, but there will be one for sure. That's it.
Yeah. That doesn't mean that it's, again, the fact that for some fucking reason, and maybe it's because Favreau is so in charge and Filoni is so in charge of the Mando thing, but the fact that we don't have a Mando movie is so weird. It's so weird. Every fucking studio in Hollywood, would kill for that level of consumer engagement.
I brought that up.
Baby Yoda got.
I brought exactly that idea up, and friend of mine goes, do you really think that we didn't think of that we didn't consider that? They didn't
do it.
You want to know why? Because it's about the Disney Plus brand. Mando was created to be a Disney Plus flagship product, and that's where it's going to stay until probably around season 5. That was an estimation.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. They still could have done the movie and gone back to Disney Plus. Nothing would have changed.
Yeah, there is a perception in Hollywood that once the movie comes out, if it doesn't connect and it's not the biggest thing ever, that something's over. So you don't, it's like you step up, and then so it's about the brand. I'm telling you that's where they're coming from.
I know how they think. I'm not disagreeing with it. What I'm saying is they're fucking clueless. They don't understand how
you're saying they're like geniuses and everything they do is right, and that they're clueless at the same time right now.
Yeah, that's how life is. And I'm not saying that geniuses and everything they do. I didn't say what. What did I say? Whose geniuses everything they do is right? What did I say about Marvel? I didn't say everything they do is right.
It's all the same. It's all Disney at the end of the day.
All right. Okay, Jason, you can muddle this with apathy all you want, but like it's not gonna fucking change.
I don't have apathy. I'm saying is that it like I think I would not be surprised if the Kevin Feige thing is getting a little bit tired after 30 fucking movies. It does seem like that's maybe the case. Maybe I'm wrong.
Sure.
I don't really give a shit. I don't care if I'm right or wrong on it.
Well, we got another one coming next month. We'll see how it does. So I'm certain no
one
will go see
Rob, hold on. Roll it back. I'm not saying it's gonna not make money.
It's on its way out.
These things, no. These movies can be dog shit and make a ton of money, but there's a time when they're good, and then there's a time when they're not so good, and that money has nothing to do with it.
They've already gone through that.
That last Doctor Strange movie
do this.
Made a ton of money. I don't fucking like it. I was checked out really quick.
Okay.
That shit was boring.
But they've already done. They made an Avengers sequel. A lot of people didn't fucking like, Jason, and they still ended up making 2 other ones after that. People love. What I'm trying to tell you is, I've been hearing this since day one. All right, when I got hired at this T-shirt company in 2005, right? And Marvel had just signed this financing deal, right? And they said they're thinking about making Marvel movies. What do you think? And they literally said, "What do you think they should make, Rob?" in this fucking room. And I'm like, you should make Iron Man. Swear on my fucking life. And they're like, ha, 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 ha. You know Iron Man doesn't sell. It's a stupid character. No, you can't put him on anything. I'm like, look, you obviously don't watch Evangelion or any kind of anime, but a dude with the robot suit who can run around flying and blowing shit up would look fucking awesome on screen. No. Well, so I've been hearing about this since day fucking one.
Yeah.
And with Star Wars, all they need, what they don't have, is they don't have, how do I say this? They put Mando was supposed to be on Disney Plus, but when the Baby Yoda thing happens, right, which no one could plan, fuck whether it's on Disney Plus or fucking Cartoon Network or Disney XD or whatever. When that thing happens, that's when you go, oh, we got something way bigger. And you go, well, if we just lock it down as Disney Plus, that'll give everyone. No, that's not it. You got something way bigger. Take it to the big screen. Cash in on that. Get everyone excited about going to the theaters to see another fucking Star Wars film. You already got a crew who can put that shit in there, and you can take a break from the sequel-itis problem to this franchise that you're having, some issue. No one's looking. You can get, they should have adjusted,
Andor,
but they don't
Andor
adjust because Lucasfilm is a giant conservative think tank.
That isn't what this is in this instance. This is that they are literally building Disney Plus. They are trying to destroy everything in the market, be market disruptors. They're trying to kill Netflix. They're trying to take over and entrench themselves for eternity. They're trying to get so far ahead that no one could ever catch back up to them. That's why there was a time when they were talking about making Andor into a film series. And they didn't do films. They decided to entirely over these years invest in Disney Plus. That's why.
Now when you get a fucking Star Wars movie that's about like gladiators, you know why? Because Well,
that could be that really could be the case. Ryan Johnson just told Variety, I have talked to Kathleen Kennedy about it, and we're still talking about it. It's entirely a matter of scheduling for Ryan Johnson's films. Again, same thing he said before, but that was in Variety today.
So diplomatic. Scheduling issues. Yes.
Well, no, he does truly have scheduling issues. Like, it goes without saying. And that guy's had a lot of.
Yeah, when you got 500 million plus on the table from Netflix, I got a big scheduling problem. We don't have to leave that out, Jason.
Yeah. Oh, well, I had something that I wanted to go to next. So I didn't want to take that down.
Okay. That's a lot. Thank you for that. Thank you for my ashy eyes. Thank you.
No, but my whole thing is that I don't think that these processes necessarily apply to everything and all times and shit like that. It's really a hard read on what's going to work. And like the box office success doesn't equate to quality. And that's what I'm the most afraid of with Star Wars in general, is that we start getting really dumb Star Wars movies that make a fuck ton of money and they're just vapid. I don't want that.
Yeah, it's called Rise of Skywalker. Made almost $1 billion. It's vapid.
So every 10 minutes, I'm asked if I think Clea is Cassian's sister Carrie, and like it's sort of like a bit of speculation here, the small thing, but went and just looked her up, and this is the actor. Looks very white, brunette, but very white. Went and tried to look up. I was like, is there any kind of angle here? Like, is she Spanish? She's a British lady, white British lady. If she's Clea, I would be very, very, very surprised. You do have the K connection and the names of Clea and Carrie. You do have. Well, but here's where I want to take this line of thinking, speculation, to a place that isn't just fucking your normal Star Wars kind of talk. Is Stellan Skarsgård's character? I don't think he went to Bix because Bix could get engine parts. I think getting to Bix was about circling around to Andor for some reason. I think that we're going to find out that I'm not saying there's like a big revelation, like, Andor's the chosen one or something, but I think it might be a situation like he figured out that Andor had faked paperwork, and he knew that this guy was already one layer undercover and was like looking for candidates and started doing something like that. And I think he goes to Bix to scout him, because in that last episode, they even bring it back up. Bix is like, he knew everything about me. And he's like, I don't know. I don't even really know him. Like, that's what Bix is saying. So I think that there's something there. And so the only way that it would work is if like Biggs had his sister and that they were looking for him for that reason. And then, but he's manipulating the situation. But I don't think that's going to be the case, because she does not look like his sister.
Also, people need to stop applying. Really, this show is not doing rudimentary story stuff. That would be extremely generic, rudimentary JJ mystery box. Who is it? We got this cat's characters. It's the one you know. Pick up. That's not what the show's doing.
Yeah.
It's not operating anything like that. Like, who would have thought Cyril would have been sitting there doing nothing, waiting for his mom to get him a fucking job by his uncle and data processing for 3 episodes? No one would have predicted this. So his dad must be, even Jason, when we're talking, maybe he becomes her driver and he's working for the ISP. No, he's literally in fucking, he works at the DMV now. He wears a gray sweater. Sucks.
Yeah.
He's gonna get real angry about it until he decides to fucking blow up fucking a shop or kill a senator for some fucking reason. Like, we just don't know. Like, I was trying to make the case on the show yesterday, and I want to reiterate, like, I had some friends asking me about like, well, Cassian, just goes to like hang out at a resort. I'm like, yeah, what do you think Han Solo would have done after he paid Jabba off with all that money? Had he left the rebellion, he would have taken the money that
me and Chewbacca's big ass margaritas.
Yeah. Right. He would, and then eventually Solo would have got his ass in trouble again, because that's what he does.
Yeah, he would have went there, he would have gotten a card game and he would have lost it all, and it would have been right on his ass again.
That's what would happen. And so we see, like, in a way, like, I know Marva doesn't directly say you should join the rebellion, but we see Marva saying, I'm going to join the rebellion. Like Luke Skywalker says, I'm going to join the rebellion. Only she's old, right? And that's like, and she's like, that thing you did, that she doesn't know you did. She's like, yeah. And she's like, and they did this thing. It inspired me. And you can see that look on his face. Like, well, I inspired, but he doesn't tell her. In no way that Batman, when he's talking to Rachel or some fucking chick he kind of likes, was like, Batman was super inspirational. Like, well, I mean, he's just a dude, like, but he doesn't join up, he's just like, he denies the call, and then it doesn't matter. You're getting dragged into this whether you like it or not, kind of deal, like, because you're everywhere around you. You can run from it, but you can't run away from it. You're just going to run right back into this problem, one way or the other. I mean, even like when Skeen takes him to a moon, a random ass moon with the fucking whatever, a surgeon in the middle of nowhere, he's still dealing with, like, there's a guy right here who'll probably murder us all. And the only reason why he hasn't is because he thinks I might be one of them. Like, it just doesn't, I don't know. Like, this show's not operating on a simplistic level, No,
it's not. I kind of do think, though, that at one point, it's either all of the pieces are going to land right where they need to, or they're going to do the Cassian Andor equivalent of the Great Flood story, where he's just going to come in and he's just going to fucking kill everybody. He's just going to, like, in their sleep, start slitting throats, and then making the rebellion that we know. Like, we might, like, for instance, Stellan Skarsgård's Luthen. The guy was looking into Andor before he was anything. Before anything happened. He knew that Ferrix, I think he knows Ferrix is like a hot point too. But what if it turns out that Stellan Skarsgård's Luthen, what if he was one of the financial backers of the whole thing that happened on Cassian's planet? He didn't get that money from nowhere. He didn't get that money just being a fucking good guy initially. Was he a rich kid who went to Yale but also liked Black Flag in secret? You know what I mean? And lived and did heroin and lived like he was in Train Spotting because that's just who he is. And then now the shit's here and he's ready to fucking go. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of different backstories they can do. But when we see what Clea is ready to do and what she's ready to go kill him and stuff like that, and he talks about how he's done horrible things for the Rebel Alliance later on. for the rebels, like for the revolution. It does seem to me like I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up with Luthen, like I said, getting his throat slashed by Cassian in his sleep kind of situation in the big picture. And they clearly seem to be more Saw Gerrera types in certain ways.
Well,
like he's a true revolutionary.
In this episode, we hear something in the inverse of something. We hear what's her face, the assistant, I forget her name, tell Val that or Vel or whatever, that she needs to like take Andor out so Luthen isn't in his head. Right? Yeah. And then at the end we hear Andor say, tell fucking basically Luthen, tell your friend, I don't want to be in his head. I don't want to be in his head. You know what I mean? Like I don't want him remembering me, and the other side doesn't want Diego remembering. And I think that's very intentional. That's not a rando fucking line just put up to random.
And it's excellent. It's excellent tracking on your character's psychology, because that's exactly how they would both feel.
Yeah. I don't want to. Yeah, So I want to bring up this point. Old boy said, "Love the episode, but the one thing I was confused about in the flashback was it showed Diego Luna, but also a younger actor playing him. Here's what was happening when he and I said I felt this is the way it was going to go when we all agreed eventually it was clone troopers and stormtroopers. Is that when he sees stormtroopers marching through his hometown where his stepfather died, that he would have a PTSD like moment remembering the clone troopers, which is what happened. The reason why you see older Diego though in that moment is because he is placing himself in that moment. He's not remembering it, he's reliving the experience. So even though he's younger at that moment in time, he's actually at that moment reliving the experience. Later on, when we see that scene where he's running down and he's going to hit the clone troopers, we see a younger Leo. That's because that's like a memory or a flashback to what actually happened, or why he was arrested. But they're just doing it visually. They're not telling that to you, but that's what you're seeing. So
when it comes to Luthen though, to go back to him, we still don't know if he's the one if he actually wants Andor killed, or if Clea is just going and doing what needs to be done. Yeah, you know what I mean though. Well, I mean, no, but there may have been past situations where, like how she tells how when Mon Mothma is talking to Tay, and she's like, "You don't want to know," or whatever. She basically says, "You can't. You don't want to know. It's better if you don't know." Clea may be doing that kind of stuff for Luthen the whole time. That like literally maybe her job is going out. One of her jobs, anyways, is going out and tidying up loose ends. And he doesn't know anything about it because he can't be charged with murder or connected to murders or anything like that. And so he's more important than she is in this instance, because that shop is how they're talking to senators, also how they're getting any kind of money at all to be able to get any, so, and he's the one who can move around. It's not her. So there is sort of a logic there still in place that it's kind of, but it's a hard read,
Jason,
Tyrant
you want to explain
says,
to him how this works?
Also, is it me, or does the assistant go from looking like a random librarian to the Olivian Munn where she was talking to Vel? Yeah, I'm into it.
Explain how this works.
It's called finding the clitoris. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, I mean, Tony Gilroy made Mon Mothma hot. That's all I'm gonna say. he's a genius. Oh, by the way, Bespin texted me and says, I don't think he understands what you're saying. Chapek has literally said Disney Plus is the top priority for them. So like,
but the Baby Yoda shit went down before Paycheck was fucking hired. Mandalorian
was greenlit to be the flagship show and the reprioritization at that point. That was an Iger thing. You're right. And it was the priority for Iger too.
And what I'm saying is when you get the Baby Yoda thing, you fucking go, okay, great. That we're finishing what we're doing there, and we're gonna set it up to put it on the big screen because we got a fucking Jason. I don't think you understand. I don't give a fuck what their plans are. When you put something on a Disney Plus or an HBO Max, and it hits Tickle Me Elmo Cabbage Patch fucking Kids level, and they didn't plan that. They didn't go, oh, we knew this is going to be the fucking money maker. They had no clue. All right. It was just, they had no clue it was going to do that. When it's that fucking big, then you adjust and go, okay, let's fucking get one in the theater, and then we'll bring it back to Disney Plus, and then we'll put one, or whatever you're going to do, or you graduate it. You don't just go, well, that's the plan. Gotta stick to it. Don't change it.
But,
it's just ridiculous.
If we're talking about Lucasfilm, and Disney has decided that the sole priority is Disney Plus,
bad fucking move.
But that's not on. Then who's that on? Then I mean, it's not a Lucasfilm.
I didn't blame it on Rejuwon. I just said, I know. Man, I don't.
I'm saying
whatever you want to fucking say. Who made the decision? Like who's like? It's like Captain. I want to put in a theater, but Paycheck won't let me do it. Like, okay, well then, that's still stupid. Like, it doesn't change anything.
Right now,
that is how you fucking literally. That's how you die, though, right? That's how you die at this. If Marvel said, hey, you know what? If Paycheck goes, you know what? No more movies from Marvel, just going to be TV shows because that's where Disney Plus is. That's where Marvel will die. I'm telling you right now. Like, you have a consistent little feeding pattern. You got a different revenue stream, and then you got this big box office event, which, by the way, dude, Spider-Man made almost $3 billion. Top Gun's up 1 point. It's not like movies are fucking big. IP movies aren't dying, bro. And what's crazy now is we live in such a weird world that movies apparently make money in the movie theater even after they're released on streaming. Like, Top Gun's still making money. I can't figure this shit out. Like, everything, everywhere, all at once broke 100 million after it was on fucking streaming. Like, we don't live in the same world, and they don't adjust. And if you can't adjust when you got a big, it's not the difference. It's not like, oh, we didn't get the money we want, so we got to change all the fucking game plan. I'm not reacting. But when you get a fucking Baby Yoda, man, like, that's crazy. Like, every studio would kill. If Baby Tom Cruise would do that fucking numbers, I guarantee you Paramount would make a whole franchise out of it.
I don't disagree with you that it was something to like jump on, but also if you look at it from their perspective, not just dollar signs, but like brand management perspective, keeping that exclusive to Disney Plus when your intention is to grow Disney Plus more than anything, to go and put it in the theater, there's a lot of power there.
But if you want to go about numbers, if you want to talk, okay, but if you want to talk about numbers, and look, I don't have the numbers, can't show you, but I've had these conversations.
I know Disney made $2.6 billion on Disney Plus in the first year, and so it's clearly well beyond that now.
Okay, but what I'm trying to explain to you is the thing that makes the most money on streaming, that makes them get subscribers, is comfort food. Yeah. It's not new content. Right. It's the shit that you just leave on for 10 fucking years. The Seinfeld,
are you reading what I'm saying?
Friends, like that's stupid.
But are you? But you need to read the first year of Disney Plus was Baby Yoda, 2.6 billion though, and it wasn't. This is just Disney Plus. This isn't like with the Hulu shit and stuff like that. And so with Disney Plus, so they did get their money. I'm not crying for them at all. And Mandalorian was their main bread and butter thing at first. And then so like they're not disappointed in that, is what I'm trying to say.
But they weren't going to make a movie in a fucking year and shove it out in the theaters. Like, there was a pandemic and everything else. You got a 3 to 4 year turnaround. They start developing it then while they could be simultaneously making the season 2 so that it culminates in season. They could be doing all sorts of things, but they're not. They're doing it the old fashioned, slow ass fucking way. And, this is why there is no plan for we hope Taika comes up with the fucking idea that we all can get behind, and that'll be the next thing. And I got to tell you, if it takes place out of continuity, it's just going to be confusing. Am I got to go to the theater? Is this Rey? What's going on with Rey? Like, there's, we can't.
I asked them about that like Taika thing, and they were just like, we don't know what she was on about when she was saying that the movie would be on his movie would be out before 2025. That was never going to actually magically happen in any way. So that was just Kathleen Kennedy straight up lying. This movie's gonna come out in
sometimes people,
2025.
when you get on a roll, you talk and then you say some shit. You don't.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. But that's what
she
that,
wasn't under
that's
deposition. It wasn't like
right. She wasn't under oath.
Hang on, like
Yeah.
that matters anymore.
But yeah. I mean, maybe she did magically have a wild hope that it could happen.
It is not easy to make money at the movie theater. The biggest return is movies and merch. TV shows generally don't give you merchandise sales. They just don't. I have been at Stranger Things is one of the hugest shows of all time. The merch is, it does all right. It doesn't do the kind of merch that they would get behind an Avengers film. I'm just letting you know.
Right.
So as great as the Mando did for all their shit post that series, had they had a movie, they would have then gotten $5 billion in total merch and revenue. It's just a giant amount of fucking clout and money and everything else, and all that stuff that makes and it's now money. It's not maybe we'll lose these subscribers in fucking 10 months money. Like we don't know. To keep subscribers, you need that. What I was trying to get to, you need that comfort food entertainment. The Great Baking Show, 24 seasons. They bought all this Fox TV show content, and none of it's on their fucking Disney Plus. It's on Hulu. It's the weirdest move I've ever seen. Well, Disney wouldn't have it. I don't care about what your perception is. The minute you have a streaming service, right, and you go and spend fucking $70 billion to get a fucking content to filter, and you don't put it on there, and you're like, no, it needs to be on the head of Star Wars to fucking get everyone to buy our shit. It's not enough. Like, the number one fucking thing watched on all these streaming platforms is old-ass shit you can just leave on a fucking loop. I guarantee you this fucking Star Trek shows do great numbers on Netflix and fucking Paramount because it's old-ass comfort shit. The new shit you got to pay attention to. I got to take time out, blah, blah, blah. So it's just weird, man. So weird.
So Arya seems to be implying that if this was accidentally uploaded on Instagram,
they're watching Rebels. What's wrong with that?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
This is when Rebels was taking place, wasn't it?
Yeah. So what the fuck is going on here? So this is where they figure out he's the man. I mean, in a way, it's sort of interesting because.
But that's got to be based on the start. That's got to be the next episode. That's not this episode because it has to be when she gets the okay to see what happened in the Star Pass. She figures out. You
mean this is 2 episodes away?
We just finished episode 7, right?
Yeah, this isn't an episode 7. I watched episode 7 like 3 or 4 times.
Right. I was saying people were telling me that this was a scene cut from episode 7. I'm like, this is a future scene.
No, it's a future scene.
That's right. I was just getting people trying to go, I heard this was cut from the episode. Where did that come from? Weird. But no, it's a future scene. Yeah.
Right. Wait, old boys sent me a DM.
Everyone's telling Jason to check to do everything but the show right now. You guys, look, we actually you guys, we appreciate the breaking news. Like it's nuts.
I don't see a DM. I don't see a DM on Twitter. I don't see a DM from you.
Yeah,
right now.
No, maybe you send me one. I don't know. Nothing from me. Nope.
But thank you for the $1.99 super chat.
Just Jason's pictures of shaved Ewoks he likes to send me.
Ooh. I am into those librarians who take the glasses off and then they're like hot British chicks. Bestman Bulletin says it's only US Disney Plus that doesn't have that stuff. The rest of the world has everything else, including repeat watching crap, like The Office kind of stuff. This is what he means, like not The Office specifically.
But they make their money in American dollars. So with when you overseas doesn't they make the majority of their money comes from dollars, not converted to dollars. So it's just weird. It's just all weird.
Yeah, I don't know how it works, but
it's a weird fucking studio. Like it's a weird studio.
Well, I got into that conversation because of our conversations about it before. And I was just like, do they feel like they fucked up with that? Not having the merch ready and stuff like that. They're like, no. And they're also super cognizant of like when I brought up, like they had like Gremlins, like something as hot as Gremlins when we were kids. And they were like, yeah, but Gremlins burnt itself out and spent itself. We can't do that. So there is some care with the franchise itself. And not just fucking it into oblivion. That they
It's
do
not
try.
fucking into oblivion. It's just saying that we.
Mhm.
Whatever, man. I see what they're saying, but it's not
Yeah.
applicable here. It's only applicable if they want to go that route. And
Right.
I don't know how to
But in
describe
terms
this
of
the way it is.
how Disney sees it is, we basically made a couple $1 billion. Thank you, Baby Yoda. So they don't really feel like it was a mistake in terms of how
Because they're
Disney
fucking
sees it.
idiots, and they're the ones greenlighting Geppetto sequels on fucking Disney Plus. You know,
Did they do
that's
that?
why.
Is it coming out?
Fucking stupid. They made one movie. That's enough. It's more than fucking enough.
Yeah.
Fucking dumb. So fucking dumb, dude. Like, so stupid.
All I'm saying is, you could find all my comments on Parler. And Housewives of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And
I
I've
literally
never
sat in
seen
a
any of
room
those
once that
shows.
had Lucasfilm tell us we have to find a way to make their merch sell. You know? And this is when I went on my rant. This is before they sold to Disney. This is Lucasfilm. This wasn't Disney, all right? And I'm like, it's not my job to make people fucking buy Star Wars. Star Wars should be selling itself. Like I was like, this is ridiculous. You're out of fucking touch. Like, you're operating, and this is like when the 2012, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you're operating like it's fucking 1984, and you could just delete Kenner. We don't fuck Kenner. You don't need them, and no one in the room knew what I was talking about with that. You know?
Yeah.
Like it's not my job, man.
Ari says, can we talk about how hard Tony lied about the cameos part? Andor has a fuck ton of cameos. If you're talking about Yularen, his actual quote was, "We don't do cameos, but if someone should be there, they will be there."
Yeah.
That was what he said. So it's like, should Yularen be there? Yeah, he should. It's literally the guys in the white outfits. He's the king of the guys in the white outfits. So it's like, so it makes sense that he would be there. But also, nobody knows who the fuck that is.
No one's going, when are they gonna get the Yularen Wolfsbane fucking the Colonel Sanders motherfucker? When's he coming? Like, nobody.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that name since the Star Wars CCG fucking Wave 1, when you're like, oh, there's fucking the Colonel Sanders. Do you remember that guy?
Well,
like,
and what would truly be applicable as a cameo in this so far? Yularen? I mean, right? I'm sorry, I don't count like seeing a Wookiee fucking bow staff in the background, or you know what I mean, or you know, DILDO's helmet in the background of the shop, like, you know what I mean, like as like a cameo either. That's just set dressing that we geek out on. So it's kind of where I fall on it. I don't know. I don't think he lied personally. I'm not saying he wouldn't deceive us to maintain a secret or something like that if he thought it was worth it. I'm not saying that, but anyways, back to this image really quickly. I think this definitely changes the dynamics of this as a spy story. Like, if the ISB has this 3D image of Cassian, they're all looking at it. The same one that our buddy, it's been looking at for the last couple of days. This guy can't just go put on a fucking helmet anymore and walk on the Death Star and be like, what's going on here? I am Commander Zigslax. Let me take the data. Like, he's clearly like a well-known intergalactic space fugitive now, right? It's going to change the dynamic to some extent. No undercover, no going and being an Imperial spy on the Executor next to Darth Vader.
yeah, now he's on the warrant list, you know?
Yeah.
By the way, we got him in prison for
bringing
a Jones soda bottle to the beach, you know?
Yeah.
For that. Yeah, some rando.
Yeah.
Some rando picked him up. Bespin, I'm gonna explain this to you because, you know, I'm not gonna say that, but like, let me explain this to you.
Because Welsh people are stupid. Okay, there, he said it.
There's this thing called financial conversions, okay, and they lose money on the time it takes for foreign box office to come back to American banks. Got to go through a bunch of fucking filters and conversions and blah blah blah. They don't get 558 million. It just doesn't work. They get a bigger cut here domestically. So the domestic box office makes them the real money now. It might take a year or more to get the financials overseas complete. And even then, because of fucking inflation and monetary conversions, it's not the same number. Box Office Mojo and all is just give you a real rudimentary fucking like number so everyone can rah, but that's not actually what happens. Okay. So
fuck, dude. I think you and Nick need to start a podcast. I think you guys' podcast should be, we hate those other two guys on our podcast, and you guys could just bag on me and best.
I just don't like when people call me Go America. Like I think America's better because we fucking make shit. Are you out your fucking mind? This is my favorite fucking Star Wars, and it's barely made by Americans.
Yeah,
you know, like barely. It's not the case. I'm just trying to explain it. Like. Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. You know, you're too kind. You're too kind.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the one naming Bix's robot dildo, but I'm the bully. You got me.
I love Irish money. I think Ireland is the best. Unlike this guy.
They like to haggis with their prices.
Love you guys. Not Bespin. But all right. Well, I think we did it. I think we'll did it.
We all can't sound smart like you idiots. All right. None of us we just sound stupid, but we are smart. You're stupid, but you sound smart. That's how life works.
No, we're stupid.
That's what
we're
happens when
stupid.
Cromwell sends their worst over to the fucking the Native
I worship
Americans.
Worship Crom.
Oh, that's
Everyone knows Rob hated me first, this tyrant. Oh, you guys have a tryst that's as old as time. That's what I would say.
I just like it when Disney says, "No, we wanted to not do that. We meant to not do it. Even though Batman only made $750 million, right? We could have made more, but we decided, no, we will not do that. Temper your approach. Remember what Mothma would do."
Okay, old boy.
Mothma.
Old boy. There's like something I'm not getting here. I'm not seeing a DM from you, bud. I keep trying to get it. You didn't send the disgusting film tweet, right? That's not you, right? About Kathleen Kennedy from the Variety article, because that we did get into already. But I think that's Chris, and I don't see any other DMs. Is it on Instagram or something that I don't really use? For the record, I kind of use Instagram lightly. I used to only use Instagram to share photos of my adorable children, and then I thought I'm not going to share photos of my adorable children with the world.
Let me explain to you where my frustration comes. It's not from you people. It comes from when I remember sitting in a room hearing Lucasfilm telling me that they don't want jokes for Star Wars. It's not being taken serious. It's ruining the brand. That they need to have serious Star Wars on t-shirts and merchandise. And so then you have a fucking character who you don't have to make any joke about. You just slap the fucking Yoda on there. You know what I mean? And boom, it sells. And they're like, no. And it's like, you assholes. Like it's frustrating me. And I never forget someone. I never forget the passion for the hatred of the fucking motherfucker who made my life miserable for the better part of 2 years trying to figure out how to make Star Wars sell. When Star Wars should just sell itself. And when you find something that does, right, especially after the nonsense hate campaign on The Last Jedi and all that bullshit, they find something that binds the whole galaxy together. They're like, nah, man, not doing that. Not doing that. No. You know what we're going to do? We're bringing back the prequels. You get more prequels. That'll bind everyone together, right?
Old boy, where did you send the DM? Okay, got one from Tyrant. Yeah, I don't see it, man. I don't know why. I
didn't
don't have
invent
you.
the dark times. This is just obvious stuff, you know.
Oh yeah, but that is good. I mean, eras of Star Wars stuff should be like, I think, have clever titles, and the Dark Times is the easiest one.
The fact that they're naming, they're on the show, they're like 5 years BBBY. Fucking no one knows it's a Battle of Yavin. The average person, they know the movies. It should just be 5, A New Hope, 5, fucking The Empire Strikes Back. Like, just because those movies aren't titles to films, they're titles to chapters. Literally, like the chapter wheels across the screen. like it's so weird. This is the weirdness for me. Like, it's like, all right, like, whatever. But I freely admit, folks, I'm the stupid one. You know, like I'm
Right.
not saying you're dumb. It's just weird to me.
Right. Okay, I see it now. Oh yeah. Yeah, Darth Vader. Thank you for getting that to me. So you don't follow me on Twitter, so when you sent the DM, it doesn't tell me. I have to like go into a special subfolder and then find it. And usually it's like a bunch of girls going like, "Want to buy my titty pics?" But right here you can see
Sorry about that.
Darth Vader, the Dark Times. The Dark Times.
Yeah, it would have been a better show. And look, I'm not saying our whole thing with
it looks cool though. Look at him.
Thing,
looks like a good figure.
I like the retro style stuff. So, like the whole thing with the naming of the shows, our whole point of that is just that it just gets rid of the argument over what's this main show character about, you know? And then when it doesn't feature that character every 3 seconds, they fucking complain to no end. You know, it's like kind of shouldn't be, but whatever.
Yeah.
They're doing what they're doing. I mean, it's irrelevant. I could go here and say, I would recommend this. And I've had the unfortunate experience of recommending things to them and them ignoring, you know, to no end, you know, so whatever.
Yeah. Man, Bestman says, work on the approach then, Rob. I like you a lot, but you legitimately pissed me off tonight.
Don't. What? Oh,
Really,
okay. I gotta be nice.
You gotta be nice.
I gotta be nice.
He's got feelings too.
Got feelings too.
Disney
He's the one
does.
who threw out no. When was I? I think Bestman thinks I'm talking to him when I talk about like, oh hey, you know they need the American dollars because the foreign dollars don't make them as much money. Then he goes off yelling out America and shit like that. Like, no offense, bro. Like, if you come at me, I don't sit back and then try to casually explain. Like, oh, so you think I'm talking to you? All right, now I am talking to you. If you think I'm like some kind of like centrist, go America fucking bro, get the hell out of here with that bullshit. Like, it's nonsense. And I do think though, Bespin, that if you're gonna be in the fucking movie news business, you should probably understand how the financials work. Right? You probably should have an idea of it. I shouldn't have to explain that to you. But I don't know, man. Maybe you do, and I'm just the fucking idiot over here who doesn't get it, you know? So
Man, you're pretty saucy today.
I know. And I haven't even had a beer. Whatever.
Chris says fight.
It's frustrating, man, when it's just like we don't want the Yoda. We don't even care.
Yeah, but if
So
you know,
weird,
when your boss tells you this is the priority, this is the thing that we're gonna do, then that's what.
You got to do it. I've been there. Yeah, I got to do it. Yeah.
That's how it goes.
And that's why you quit, and then everyone wonders why you left the studio. Bring us back to the theme of the show. She left.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, that they're not firing Kathleen Kennedy. They're clearly happy with it, so that they're doing what they're being told, what they want, and you know. It is what it is. Domestic, 725 million domestic. Maybe that's too close to call. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't understand math or numbers. But yeah, I think even investment should just kiss and get it over with. Fucking
dude,
investment.
He endlessly wants me to play Fortnite. I won't do it. See, there's just Fortnite players.
Now it comes out. Now it comes out. What this is really about.
Dragon Quest players are over here. That's how it works.
You know what? I'm by Quest Fort. I'm for Quest. I'm by Fort.
Jason goes both ways.
I go both ways. I can Dragon Quest it up and Fortnite it in the same day. I'm gonna put in some Fall Guys in there too if I have to. I'm not scared. I'm good at Mario. Andor has a huge fan base.
I can't control. They think I'm talking to them personally. I got to think about that.
Uh-oh. You're going to send them off again. Nick says, Rob, play Battlefront with me instead.
It's multiplayer. I'm not doing multiplayer games. Can't do it, folks.
He won't do it. James says, doing TV movie crossover is tough. They would have to be production simultaneously.
You just cancel all the production on Boba Fett. You take the storyline of Andor Mando getting back with Baby Yoda, and that's your movie. You didn't need it, and focus on the next series being a Kenobi. No one would have cared. Honestly, do you need 3 Star Wars series in 1 year? Like, let's be honest. You know.
Hello, me says Jason. Check the Nielsen ratings on Andor. We'll get into that especially if that one story doesn't die, because we clarified what that all meant, and yeah, that was bullshit. Personal attack on Bespin. Chill out. We want the Yoda, Rob. I thought you were a real Star Wars fan. Disappointed with you on that one. Yeah.
With me or with Bespin?
With you.
With me.
No disappointment, Rob. Disappointing Rob is what we're gonna call you now.
I did not know my mom was here on the stream. Thanks, Mom.
Whatever happened to the Boba season 2 leak? Laugh out loud. Yeah, that. If that image was even real,
it leaked like pissing on a flat rock. All right.
Well,
loud and non-existent.
Tamura Morrison just is gonna be playing Aquaman's daddy again in something else, so that also may take away from the possibilities or the potential of more.
He's Aquaman's dad.
He's daddy. He's Aquaman's daddy, and yeah, Boba Fett's Aquaman's daddy, and so that may also affect that potential, even the potential of him being in Mandalorian and stuff, season 4 and shit, if it should go that way. But there hasn't been anything that I could see being legit, like I haven't seen a legit sign of a Boba Fett 2 thing yet. I'm not saying that doesn't mean it's not happening or something like that. I've never seen one though. I've heard it firsthand about Kenobi, but not about
He's
Boba.
Just trying to trigger Bespin. Yeah, they're gonna probably make that. I know.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
And then Arya says, Yoloran mentioned Palpatine in the front of the Senate with Masamita. Rob, this question is for you. What are the odds of seeing this? You say no Palpatine or no Masamita?
No Palpatine.
No Palpatine.
That. They'll just talk about the Emperor. They're talking about the Emperor and Palpatine the way they talked about him in Star Wars. They're talking about him.
So, in terms of a project layout, where you have the culmination of things just keep getting bigger and bigger, you know what I mean? Things keep snowballing into a giant Death Star, essentially. That will be our analogy for this. How the build's been going. We don't get Palpatine in Rogue One. Would putting Palpatine in the Senate, would that somehow thematically break that mold, or the fact that we don't get Palpatine? On the Death Star.
He wasn't even on.
I don't think he's ever been on it.
First Death Star.
Yeah.
You know, that's why it was a shock when he's like, the Emperor's coming here in Jedi. Like, he's coming here.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm with you. He's in a hole and people just say, I spoke with them. Oh, you spoke with them? Oh, shit. You know, like,
yeah.
It's better. You're more intimidating that way.
Right.
You know, even when Andor gets arrested, she's like, take it up with the Emperor. America.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a pretty good line. Take it up with the Emperor.
Yeah. Happens so fast, but you gotta like
I had a problem once at the DMV, and it was their mistake. They put my birthday wrong and I was reporting it. And they were acting like it was my fault. And I'm like, no, I know how to write my birthday. I wrote my birthday right. You gave it to me wrong. And I was told, take it up with Newsom. And I was like, when that hit, it really did hit.
You should have changed your approach, Jason. Honestly, you know, blame you.
Hey, I don't know, man. I think you were a little mean to Bethany today. A little bit mean, just a little bit.
Don't throw America at me, bro. You're accusing me of being a red hat. You know, you got your own fucking problems over there in the UK. Fix them.
James says, this is why Rob shouldn't do late shows. He gets cranky.
That was 2 days ago. That was actually nice on yesterday's show. I get real irritated when I hear studio executives say shit like, no, we don't want to fucking do well. Because let me tell you what happens. These fucking places that I worked at, these places that thrive on merchandise, don't have anything to sell. They get hit with overstock, and then those artists end up out of fucking jobs. While these cats just sit back, well, we just could have made money, but we decided not to. Yeah. You know, like, that's the frustration. It's like, well, why didn't you? Well, we're not trying to dilute the brand. Fuck, you putting fucking, there's goddamn Frosted Flakes with Millennium Falcons on it. This is not like when Lucas was like, oh, I got to be really careful about doing another Kenner line that people may confuse as promotion for a series. We kind of like got to take it in and out of of the consciousness. You have 3 Star Wars series in 1 year, and people are already saying, I'm kind of burnt out on Star Wars, don't really know if I want to. You're not. This is not true. That's just an excuse.
I don't want to open up, I don't want to step out above my pay grade on this one. They said something about Groot, like baby Groot stuff. And I guess to some extent there were some mistakes made with baby Groot. But
okay, I didn't say slap them on everything, but they didn't stop them from making Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and the only thing that stopped them from making 3 was Cernovich went on there and accused fucking Gunn of being a pedophile out of all that bullshit. Miracle. Yeah. So that I get not slapping them on everything to whatever, but when you have a character, him and the Mando, Lone Wolf and Cub, Paper Moon, you know what I mean? And then you decide to just not do a movie, and we don't know what to do with the movie. We're just stuck with the movie. What are we gonna do with the movie? What are we gonna do with the movie? There's only so much bandwidth Taika or any single creator when they're writing things can fucking come up with. And if he had to write a Thor movie and conjure up a Star Wars, I don't know, man. Last I checked, writing Star Wars movies ain't simple,
And this is someone give Rob a Snickers.
Look, Santa, that's your solution for everything. Candy.
Yeah, cookies and milk and candy.
Santa.
Yeah, Rob likes the candy that dances around the pole. I'm kidding. Arya says, I just can't trust. Remember Candy? Remember that one night with Candy? Arya says, I just can't trust that Ian took so much time to wear all that makeup and to show up for a shitty Kenobi hologram that had to be filmed for Andor since this was in the UK. No, it doesn't actually have to be any of that. And in fact, the chances are, if he's in both, they put on all of that makeup and had him do that one thing, and then it was a total. I mean, I would not be surprised.
The same hologram, but they dub his mouth, they just they do that. They would never do this, but they do that mouth replacement they used to put on turtles and chipmunks in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I mean, it would like I said, it would take the Kenobi production being oh, we can do that, and then literally requesting, can he just read this line? You know what I mean? And because he could have done the Kenobi line in literally 20 minutes. So it's possible. I'm not going to say it's impossible because it is possible, and I do know that at the for sure, the Kenobi stuff wasn't originally there. That Palpatine stuff, that was not originally there. I'm not wrong about that. I'm 100% right. I will be vindicated on that one eventually.
Did Ian McDiarmid get paid more for that than Diego Luna got paid to be in Rogue One? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
you can't, hard to say.
Yeah. Okay, Steve. Steve says they probably filmed a few things from Ian for Hollis or different shows. You would think that if they would have that kind of thinking of the future kind of stuff, but sometimes you'd be surprised about what they don't do that you think they would, because it's just not how money is allocated. It's not how they get paid to do that stuff. But that would be neat, but I don't think so.
I wish they just turned Kenobi into a Palpatine into a splitting image puppet. Those puppets from the Genesis,
yeah.
This is the world we live in. He's just a puppet. So when he comes in, he's just a human looking puppet now. We don't need a person anyway.
Okay. Lewis says, according to Leslie Nielsen, numbers, Book of Boba Fett episode 1 had 389 watch minutes. And Andor has 624, but that's spread over 3 episodes. Divided by 3 equals 216. Still not as big. Yeah, without a doubt.
Oh, it's fractions.
No, and that's 100% true. I'm not rewatching Andor with my kids. My kids don't want to watch it. It doesn't have Boba Fett and that kind of stuff in it. It's not that show. But at the same time, I have watched the whole show 5 times now. So I watched through the whole from part 1 to part 7 now, in totality, about the equivalent of 5 times. So most of those numbers are me. Chris says,
Lucas says they didn't watch Empire as much as A New Hope, so it was a failure. Got to go back and remake The New Hope. That's why he made Jedi.
Chris says, in my humble opinions, the next Star Wars will be Ryan's movie. Taika movie ain't happening. The Taika movie is supposed to happen, but at the same time, for what it's worth, we do keep hearing there's a scheduling conflict thing, but we do also keep hearing, we've heard more from Ryan about Star Wars than we have from Taika about his Star Wars recently. So
and to be
I could,
fair, it's because they're asking him because he's doing that press stuff for
yeah,
Glass Onion.
right.
Know?
And that's exactly one reason to even acknowledge it is the fact that we're bringing up Glass Onion every time, you know. But I do think if his Star Wars thing wasn't happening, if the situation had soured, I think he would just be like, nah, nope, don't care about it anymore. Stop asking me. You know what I mean? That would be sort of be like the, like, you know, how the general like take on it. And he's not. I think I don't know how Ryan Johnson feels inside of his heart, but I would imagine that eventually he's going to want to go back and do a big blockbuster kind of movie series at some point, or something in a series, something in the theater with a lot of spectacle around it, just because he's been doing these, like, you know, comedic character pieces now for a couple of years. It may be fun to take a break from that now and to go do Star Wars sooner than later. But his thing is supposed to be a series, and that's a big investment from Disney and Lucasfilm. And right now we keep hearing about these one-offs. So, but I would rather they just do that. I would rather they, personally, that would be my hope, that they just say, Taika, we'll see you when we see you. Rogue Squadron, maybe someday. And then they just go and do Ryan Johnson's films. You know, that would be the thing.
Storyline on Mando season 2, if you diluted it down to a 2-hour film, culminating in the return of Luke Skywalker, taking baby.
Oh no, we agree with you, Rob. We don't disagree with the idea.
Season 2 could have been.
Yeah,
you know.
No, 100%. I don't disagree with you. But it's what are you investing in now? What are you willing? An investment can mean a loss temporarily. And so it's like, yeah, they might have made the first $2 billion Star Wars movie, but making this $20 billion streaming service that's going to be an immovable beast is more of what they're looking at. Well, Rob, are we going to act like the streaming service stuff might not pan out? I mean,
it's just not going to survive on one IP. Netflix isn't going to survive on Stranger Things. It's got to survive on a multitude of stuff. You know, the most of which being comfort food material, and then a regular rotation of new content.
And that's exactly what they're doing though, between the Marvel stuff and the original stuff. But that's Star Wars right now is they are doing their work on that project. I'm just saying that they're building a Death Star. It doesn't give you immediate returns, but they will be blowing up other services with it soon.
If any one of those Marvel series had the cultural impact that Baby Yoda had, there would have been a shift in that series' future. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. And I honestly feel like the Baby Yoda train has somewhat sailed. I don't think that
so. Top Gun just made $1.7 billion. Like, you know, you got to name everyone knows, you know, and you make something that's entertaining, you're going to get people to show up to the theaters. So
yeah, what I'm trying to say is, like, if you go and you put out a meme with Baby Yoda in it, at a certain point you would get like 200 retweets on it. Right now you'll probably get 25. I think it has diminishing returns until.
I wish it did.
Yeah, but it does have to do. I mean, the memeability of it has a lot to do with how that shit is passing on cultural relevance. I think. I mean, we can't deny that
Batman
memes do that.
More money because there's Batman memes all the time. Like it. I don't know. Lego Batman was nothing but memeable, and that didn't do anything financially. So I don't know about all that.
So Aria just asked, this will be our last thing and then we'll go. Daniel RPK is saying that Bryce Dallas Howard is the voice of Yaddle in the upcoming Tales of the Jedi shorts. And she asked if it's real. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but people have the screeners. So if it was debunkable, it would be debunked, I think. And so I think it would probably make sense and seem completely possible. And she seems to only, based off of Naruto and Ahsoka's leaks, she sounds like she probably has 5-6 lines. It doesn't make it like a huge amount of work. So pretty cool though. But I don't know. And one last thing, Arya said, how is Andor going to compete with Tales of the Jedi? Being live action. That's all it has to do to compete with Tales of the Jedi. Is just be live action. That's it. That's just the truth.
I always
not a dig on
like Cyril's mom.
Yeah.
What if Yaddle had like a duck, like the Donald Duck voice though? You know?
What if she sounded like Marilyn Monroe? She's like, "Happy birthday, Count Dooku."
Mr.
She's all,
Palpatine.
I'm all fucked up on midi-chlorians and pills and sucking the Chancellor's dick. Oh shit, Marilyn Monroe.
Hold on. This will be our last one. No. Jason did an Andor show that was 3 hours long on one of those nights I was not up. Yeah, because I went on like, what were you up for 3 freaking hours?
Andor.
So wow. For a show you don't even like, Jason. You know, it's got vid screens in it. You fucking hate vid
Oh,
screens.
wait, I don't like. I like the show. Why you saying I don't like the show?
Vid screens. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, you're nuts today. You're a grumpy little cat today. Grumpy little kitty.
See what happens when I don't get to do the cartoon voices?
Why? Who said you couldn't do the cartoon voices?
Internet. It's not me.
Arbitrary rule.
Can't do it.
Nobody said that. Arbitrary rules you've made up.
Disney said they're saving it for the streaming series.
I think you made up that rule so you could hit Bespin. That's what I think.
America.
Yeah. Bigs. All right, everyone. I have to go pick up the kids from school. The kids are getting out of school now. I gotta go. But all right, thanks everyone for hanging out, and we'll see everybody tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, talking about the daily Star Wars news. And thank you for the DMs and the help and the super chats and all that jazz today, you guys. And like the video,
love you all,
and stuff.
Hugs and kisses.
Make your mom subscribe to this so that way she could learn about the humor you like. It's terrible.
Mod.